Hello and welcome back to LinaCreated here on YouTube. Today I'm going to be sharing with you what I'm working on. This is what I'm working on Wednesday. And right now I'm working on a comic book, which is, something that I've revisited from 2010. It's called Quantum Cypher. It's a sci-fi fantasy comic. And, we start out on episode 4. And that is actually an homage to one of my favorite sci-fi fantasy series or franchises called Star Wars. And, what I found interesting about starting at episode 4 was that, starting at episode 4 gives you room for episode 1, 2, and 3 to be actually revisited at a later time, where you can actually preclude and go over some origin story of the characters and things of that nature. So I really love that I started at episode 4. We were introduced to the characters. This comic has actually existed in my portfolio. Let me show you my portfolio. Okay, see if I can find it here. Okay. Yeah, this comic has existed only in this portfolio for the last 12 years, and now I'm revisiting it, not only to just ink it and color it and make a comic of it. I'm actually going to be making an animation. I've started making an animation, and right now I'm halfway through the animation process, so I wanted to come on and show you the work in progress. So if you like, share, comment, subscribe, and at the end I'm going to show you my work in progress and where we are right now. Basically what I've worked on so far is actually just the coloring, the lines, isolating each character within Photoshop. I'll show you exactly what I've been doing, and then inserting music and inserting sounds and things of that nature in order to get it to animate. So stay tuned that you get to see stay tuned that you get to see what is that I've been working on and how it looks so far. And thanks so much, and I hope you enjoy it. Thank you. The first thing I had to do was actually photograph the images as clearly as possible, so that meant I had to lay it down on a flat surface and make sure I had good lighting. Once I have photographs of every frame, I then uploaded it into my computer. Usually I just use Google Drive to store my content on my photographs and videos and things, so that's easy to get. Then I uploaded it into Photoshop. Once I'm in Photoshop, I immediately make a new layer right above the drawing, so then I can add in the lines. I usually use like a 3 or 4 pixel pen brush, right? Use the brush in order to input the lines and make sure the lines are all black. Sometimes I also, depending on what kind of animation I'm planning on doing, I draw each piece of content, each element separately on a separate layer, so that it's easy for me to be able to separate and, you know, merge together the image into one. Also the background, any background that is in the image, I actually draw it completely, so that when the elements are moving around on the image, like when I'm doing the animation, that you'll still be able to, like, there would be background for the image, you know. Also, when you're creating the layers for when you're actually creating the images for the elements, you also want to pay attention to what is going to be the foreground, what is going to be the background, you know, and draw them separately. So as you can see, I'm drawing in like the hand for Nova, which is that character. I'm drawing his hand separately from the rest of his body. The rest of his body is attached to the rest of the group, and his hand is separate because that's the element that I'm going to be actually animating. And then the buttons for the elevator is going to be separate as well, so that you know, when his hand is moving, that the buttons stay the same, stay still too. Also, right underneath the lines layer, I make sure I put a white background. Like, I use one layer with just white, so that it's like a page to see if I miss anything at all. And here's what it looks like animated. Next, I'm gonna show you how I input the color. Basically, all I do is I place a plain layer behind the lines, and I, you know, just place the color as if when you color in a coloring book, same sort of thing. Just color it, stay within the lines, and just put the color where it needs to be, basically. Sometimes I like to put like the outfit on top of whatever complexion, like the skin. Put a layer for the outfit above where the skin is, so that it's less work to try to stay within the lines. You don't have to, as long as the outfit is within the lines, that the skin can be outside of the lines, and it's not such a big deal. And then the hair on top of where the skin is, so it would go skin, hair, outfit, or skin, outfit, hair. But whatever you do, the outfit the skin goes beneath everything else, just like in reality. I'm gonna basically just isolate each element. So if you've got two people that are separate from each other, that are gonna be animated or moving in separate directions, you're gonna isolate them from each other. The lines and the color for each element would go on separate, would be on separate layers, obviously, but also merged together, and then make everything else invisible. So you press the little eye on the side in Photoshop. You press the little eye on everything that you don't want to make into a subject, you know, make into an element. You make everything else invisible, and then you make sure that the backgrounds and everything, including the drawing itself, is invisible, so that you can then export it as a PNG. PNG is basically a file that has an invisible background. It's just a floating element. Once you do that, then you can be able to import it into your video software, whatever video software you use. I happen to use a software called Corel Video Studio. I chose that software because it offers a lot of different features that I was looking for, including like green screen, motion graphics, things like that. And it's not that expensive, and it's not that hard to use, which works for me, you know, because it's simplified. Once I was in Corel, I basically used the overlay tracks that they have for you to like layer video on top of each other. I use that exactly the same way that you use Photoshop. So I basically rebuild the image, and if you save the image, if you save each element within the document that you have, everything's gonna be exactly the same size as it was in Photoshop. So if you go ahead and import into overlay layers the image exactly how it was built inside of Photoshop, you'll have it also into the video. And in this software, it allows you to actually use advanced graphics, advanced movement, to make simple movements. It's not very elaborate, but it does the job if you want to make an arm move, or if you want you know, an element to slowly appear or disappear. And I use the simple movements that they have within that software to be able to offer me an animation. Once I was done animating, well, basically arranging how I wanted it to be animated, and choosing my elements, making sure everything was in the right spot, and placing my text, everything like that, I go ahead and I go to download some, you know, some sounds to go with, you know, different motion, and to make it a little bit more authentic, a little bit more convincing, you know. There are a ton of free resources, free places where you can get sounds from on the internet. Basically all I did was Google free, and then the sound that I was looking for, the type of sound that I was looking for. One website that I did find was Feslian Studios, and that's totally royalty free as long as it's not being used for commercial purposes. If you are going to use it for commercial purposes, in the terms and conditions it does ask for a donation, so it's obviously not very expensive. It's up to you how much it is that you give and donate to them, and then you can use it for your project, even if it's for monetary use, right? Another one that I got some sound from was freesound.org, and then free SFX. This website is freesoundeffects.net. So there's so many websites that you can get sounds from. Just look at the terms and conditions as to what they want in exchange. Some of them will want credit for whatever it is that you're doing, depending on whether you are doing it for monetary gain. Some of them will charge a donation, like Feslian. And finally, once you've downloaded all of the sound effects and the background music that you're looking for, go ahead and upload it into your tracks, into your voice track, and into your music tracks. Right, and so now once you have everything in place, you can go ahead and render out. You're all set. If you have any additional questions regarding the process and how I did certain things, please do leave a comment in the box. Go ahead and subscribe, like the video, and you have a really great day. Thanks so much. Bye bye.